whether he plans to use it for living or not, it's still gonna be considered, even though there's no entrance between there and upstairs.
Yeah, right. The only access will be from outside.
You got egress windows, you got egress access.
But there's nothing, there's no connection between the top and the bottom.
Still a habitable space.
That's interesting, because
Yeah.
you can't count basement as, when you want to do an expansion, you already have a basement, you can't count it towards your square footage, that's, so if you go the other way, it counts,
Well, look at the picture, Judy,
yeah.
and you can see that, you know, there's windows, there's doors,
We have windows and doors,
and it walks in directly from outside, so you're not using it as a support to hold up the building, you're creating additional space that could be, at any time, used for livable area.
And you meet egress standards.
What's that?
You meet egress standards, so it makes a habitable space.
You'll meet egress standards. They may have changed the regulation, but I think, you know, if it was
that's interesting.
uninhabitable, if you didn't have windows that met code, and then was only going to be used for storage, but as you can see, this could easily be used for,
So in effect, what we're saying is if he doesn't put the windows in, it'll be okay.
no, I think when they have walkout features to
Yeah,
them,
that was.
you have a serious problem.
Well, how would you, well, I guess.
That's his
what I'm
only
getting at-
access to, like his furnace, his air handler, everything. 'Cause he has no access to it. If he just puts a regular foundation to it, he has no access from up above. Floor plan doesn't work for a set of stairs.
Yeah, but that could be easily modified in the future. Because you're talking,
I still don't understand that.
I don't know, either. So how would we theoretically say you can raise it and do it? What are you saying, you have to have four walls and no way in?
no, I
You know,
think,
if you raise the floor, so you only had a 5-foot headspace or a 6-foot headspace, if you didn't have headspace, it meant legal height limitations, then it was only for storage.
So instead of going up 10, instead of having 10
So if he
foot-
leaves it alone at 7 feet, that still meets headspace.
seven.
6'10's headspace.
yeah, but that's only for your head knockers. Your space in between beams has got to be higher than that.
So what we're saying, if he wants to do what he's talking about, he can't go above,
And if he
What?
raises it the 2 to 3 feet that we need to eliminate the water hitting his house,
well,
He's
what I'm
at
saying
the
is,
9, 10
what
feet.
can
I
we
just
tell him
put
he can
10
raise without
we
making
put 10
habitable
feet on
space?
this, but it could be 8, could be 9,
Yeah.
depending on where it needs to be.
Well, perfect example, this is right on Rangeley Lake. They just raised the place up there. They actually, the place was uninhabitable, so they let them rebuild it. And in doing so, they moved it back a few feet. But they needed to put in about 8-foot walls to get to original soil and still have the water run away from it. But they could only end up with no more than 72 inches of space between the floor and the floor joist, between the pad and the solid, because they considered it an expansion. So, you know, you just got to be cautious about what you do. There's
So-
different standards
Not-
because habitable space.
And not only that, the reason for the height too is, I mean, the building steps and drops and drops. And it comes around the front. It's quite high in the front. It's probably 8 feet now.
Well, I guess what I'm getting at is if we're gonna not say it's as part of a 30% expansion rule, what can we tell him he can go up? He's gotta keep it less than, the height down there is gonna be less than 72 inches.
Well, you know, what you've got to do, Frank, is look for what there is for space underneath the building right now.
Yep.
And if there's, well, just say, how big is this building?
30 by 32, roughly.
30 by 32? So 960 square feet.
Yep.
If there's 5 feet of space underneath that now, that's 45. 500 cubic feet.
Is there 5 feet, is there anything underneath there now?
Yeah, it's probably 5 or 6 feet.
5, 6, okay.
So you've got 4,500 cubic feet. You take the area isn't going to change, but the volume is. So you take the volume of the upstairs, you take the volume of the downstairs, and if the 30% of that allows him to make this livable, make this additional space,
He'll
then
be
he
all
can
right.
do it.
That structure's already had a 30%.
The structure's already had the 30% expansion.
Yeah.
The voltage we have there on here. They just did an addition to the back of the house that was minimal because that would exceed the 30%. I don't think Patty considered this to be an expansion, that's why she's saying it here. They're not approving an expansion.
Yeah, Patty says no expansion.
That makes sense, because when we wanted to put the deck on, and our camp already had a walk-in basement,
I'm sorry, that's not
we were
Patty.
not allowed to calculate that space as total space for the expansion. We had to just use the upstairs. So it seems you can't count it one way, but you can't count it the other way either. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
You put a 10-foot foundation underneath a structure this size, and you don't think that in 5 years you'll go back there and there's gonna be something stored down there other than tin cans and bottles?
That may be, so what I'm getting is, what's the limitation? How much can you raise it? I mean, if we're gonna compromise, if we're gonna have to
You
look
could
at
also-
the limit,
It isn't how much you raise it, it's whether you create livable space or not. If you don't create livable space underneath there, and the state law
and
says,
by that definition, you're having a height requirement. Is that what you're saying? It's 7 feet, whatever, under that, it's not gonna be livable space, which is gonna be what we're gonna have to say, in this case, he's gonna have to be limited to.
well, the first thing we've got to do is probably find out whether
How much space there is up there?
whether my recollection of this is correct or not.
The other thing too
It
is,
doesn't seem to me that that basements are considered.
but I think the difference on it, Judy, is that I agree with Doug. You've got a full daylight basement with double doors, windows on it, and you got full height in there, so you could easily convert that to a room.
Well, we had that, and they wouldn't count it when we wanted to expand the camp. That was not considered.
I mean, the other thing too is,
He'd only be hurting himself, though, if he was ever to sell it, right? Creates livable space. He goes to sell it as a finished
so that
basement
meets
down
the
there.
setback requirement.
He's the one that breaks the laws.
The addition of a basement that does not exceed the existing structure's footprint or cause the structure to be elevated more than 3 additional feet will not count toward the 30% calculation, provided that the basement is placed so that it meets the setback requirements to the greatest practical extent. So that goes back to the,
It's still an existing building.
yeah, if the structure cannot be moved back to the setback line, the owner will be required to move the building to the furthest practical extent from the water body or wetland. That's similar to the one we did across the street from you down on the, remember that camp?
Lehman's?
Yeah,
I did that one.
okay.
Oh, I didn't do it, I didn't build it.
No, he just did the foundation.
Foundation, yeah.
But the structure relocated must meet the shoreline setback requirements to the greatest practical extent. So if he's digging under it, then he can move it.
They can't go back, I don't believe. They'd be in the right of way.
All right, I think that's why,
Shared driveway there.
I mean, that's one of my questions about site
Which one
visit.
is it? What color is it?
Astor Lane,
Yeah, I know.
straight in. It was
Okay.
Bob Mazzola's old place.
Okay, I know
These
what
folks
you're
just bought it last
Yeah.
year.
I figured that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is, because their land doesn't go back to West Shore Road.
No.
There's
So
a
this-
strip there
It's
that's
a pie,
not
comes
owned.
into a
Yeah.
pie, I
So at
believe.
this point, do you have,
Well, we could go look at it if you want
we
to.
go look at it, or have Patty go out there and take all the measurements, and we'll have to come up with what you can do and still make it a non-habitable space.
Well, it says here that the addition of a basement that does not exceed the existing structure's footprint or cause the structure to be elevated more than 3 feet will not count towards the 30%.
Yeah, the records of the floor area volume must be maintained out there by the CEO.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say, somebody needs to go out there and you need to come up with how much you can raise.
And keep in mind, we put 10, the guy that drew the prints put 10 feet going off the homeowner's
Yep.
thinking,
But I mean, maybe-
thinking that
maybe
he might have
it's
needed to
time
be
for
10 feet on that back
getting record of
wall
it.
to raise the elevation and still make it work so that he could access it from the ground.
Because right now you're 17 or 18 feet on one side from the sideline, 13 feet from the other lot.
So it's not gonna move it.
You're not going to move it sideways.
So we said we needed to define how high you go and still make it a habitable, not make it a habitable
No,
frame.
you can go no more than 3.
See, they can put an entrance on the side of this thing and come in, even if the floor elevation was raised 4 feet. They could still come in at grade,
Yeah.
Yep.
but not at a,
You could step the foundation going back to following
and
the...
then fill in the inside of it.
That's what we have to do, we have to step the foundation, because it just drops. We're doing a step foundation.
Okay.
That was the only reason.
So that's not a clear, that's not a flat slab going all the way
No,
back?
no.
No.
There's a, that's pretty clear in one of these.
Yeah, because it shows the slab, just shows the footing going straight back.
Yeah. So what are we asking them to do?
You're gonna schedule an on-site inspection
Okay.
to look at it? When do they wanna do this, Kevin?
There's no rush. There's no rush, I mean, whatever it happens.
2011, 2000.
They asked me to look into it for them, they're out of state, he's actually on the road in Vegas right now, and
So,
Why don't we schedule an on-site and go up and look at it?
sure.
What's your guys' availability? Gets dark at 4:42, and we're losing 2 minutes every day.
We're all in town. You're the one that's out of town.
I'm coming from home
Hanging around New
tomorrow.
Hampshire, you do that here more often.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm leaving there when it's dark. I don't know, if it comes back, I can make an exception, I can just get out early.
Set a date.
What works for you guys? What are we,
Pick a date.
7 days from today, right?
As long as we don't
Close this one.
close the meeting, as long as you continue, then.
To have an on-site?
Right.
If we close it, then we
Convene
have-
at the site.
If we close it, what?
Maybe post it and then,
Well, there's no rush, let's do it, we can put it out. I mean, a couple of weeks is not.
you want to
gonna
do a
kill
weekday, or
so
do you want to do a Saturday?
weekday.
I'm going next week and I won't be back till Wednesday after that, so.
Okay, so a couple of weeks out?
Do you want to do,
Yeah.
we don't have our calendar anymore.
There's one item.
Right there.
No, I like the big one in front of us.
There's one.
I know. I'm looking over here. All right. Today's the 4th. Next Wednesday's Veterans Day. Following Wednesday is our planning board meeting. We could do it before the planning board meeting.
When did you say you were back? You're not gonna be back by then, though, right?
I'm back, yeah, I
Yeah,
think
we
I
can
am.
do, well, push that the week after that then.
25th, which is the day before I'm
We
going.
can do it next Monday, as that goes.
You want to do it on the 9th?
We can do it next Monday.
All right. I'm actually
That's
working in
good
the
with me.
shop on Monday, so. Does Monday
So we
work
have
for
to
you?
continue the meeting then if we have it next Monday?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Okay.
so this coming Monday.
4 o'clock? Does that work for everybody?
Yep.
4 o'clock? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Does that work for you?
I don't work Monday.
Oh. Oh, we'll take notes.
There you go.
Okay, so we'll have a site visit on Monday at 4 p.m.
All right. All set?
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Steve, you're up.
We told him to mark boundaries, that lot.
Small,
I'm not sure where it is.
All right, Steve, you're back.
Back, yes.
We have a new drawing.
New drawing, new concept, after getting beaten up so bad last time,
Why should we highlight what's new?
okay?
That was pretty easy at the last time.
One of the reasons that we decided to realign the road as it enters onto Logan Circle was because of the requirements that we would have had to have done to Logan Circle in order to get the other road standards achieved. And that was bringing up at the intersection of where the existing road used to be, up about 3 feet, and there was retaining wall issues, there was private property issues that would have had to have been dealt with, such as a fence, there were trees that would have had to have been welled, there was quite a few issues.
So you curved it around.
So, yeah, so we put a little curve in it, and we increased the sight distance, we increased the elevation, and we essentially took away all of the erosion issues that the neighbor had. Because now, if you look at those little arrows, the way it's designed is to shed the water to the northerly. There's only going to be a ditch on the northerly side. It's going to be pitched enough to shed the water to that side. It's going to drain down to Logan Circle in a ditch that's going to be created down to a detention basin. So all of the stormwater will go in that direction. All of the, or some of the excavation, not all of the excavation, will be placed back in where the old driveway used to be and build that up so that there's not going to be any chance of any runoff coming down at that point. And that's where, and where we're coming out, that's essentially where the road crowns anyway.
Okay.
So
You're at the best
after
point.
Roger came up with the idea, we looked at it and we thought it was very doable.
Okay.
So that's essentially the road changes. Then there's some erosion control, BMP standards that I put on the plan. And, oh, I've also addressed the easement to the town of Waterboro for road improvements. That was in response to Doug's issue about making sure that there was going to be enough land if the town comes through there and improves the road. So what I did is I took the existing center line of Logan Circle and I offset that by 25 feet, and there's a small shaded, right at the base of the driveway, there's a shaded area in there, and that's the easement shown.
Who's gonna own the road? The lot
That would-
where it passes, is that?
That's going to be an association, correct, Roger? An association is going to own the road, and Roger is in the process of having that letter drafted up. And
Looks like, Steve, you got one of the rebars, one of your property margins that you've set, that's going to be inside the right-of-way? If that ever gets...
well, it's
That's the...
it,
This is the one that you're...
I have to set that. Yes, I have to set that bar on the existing property line as it's shown on the plan, the subdivision that was done as a standard boundary survey for Edna F. Kaspazak. That rebar has not been set yet. I could design it to set it on that outer limit, which would be on the outside of the easement to the town, but either way, I don't see where it makes an awfully big difference, one way or another.
Easement, turn the property line, the rebar is inside.
We had some discussion about future, if someone built across
But I can also set it
Yeah.
at the edge of that.
Bergholm's land,
Just-
uh,
The only thing is
Steve?
it's not conveyed.
addressed,
So that's,
didn't,
Yeah, we asked that question, Steve, but I don't know, the answer I thought was that no,
I
but...
assume that there was a road association that if someone should build along Berghorn's, is that land?
Yeah.
And they wanted to access that road, we
Mhm.
had some discussion on that, that it would,
I think there's going to be an exclusionary
We had-
letter written that's going to go in the file.
We had discussed that, and
It was discussed last time. No, for the road, but making the road exclusive to,
to those 3 lots, or,
right, is that,
Oh,
To the
somebody
adjoining,
said over
right.
here, or, okay.
yes?
yes.
Okay.
All right.
You could add that as a note 6 on this plan. That Bergeron is, with no other access to this road without permission of either the association or
You want to handle it that way, Doug?
however you want to word it, but right now, it just leaves it open,
Yeah.
and there ought to be something.
Does the planning board require that that stipulation is included in order to get approval?
I guess my question would be is, do you want them to have access onto the road that you paid for? You know what I mean? I think if you have some, if you have something
I
on,
can say it at a cost.
yeah, I mean, that's what I think is like what Doug was saying, you have that note on there, and then you can recap, you know, if they want to come onto your road, then you,
Negotiate from there on out.
you guys can,
You
it's
have to
open to
negotiate
negotiate.
with the road association. I mean, that would,
I mean, I think all common sense would point to that. If there's a potential revenue to be had by allowing the abutter to access his property through my road, then, but that's something that would have to be written in.
You gotta put some kind of a note on there that says that, you know, who's gonna control the road, and future access has to be by their permission. If you don't do that, then it creates a town somewhat of a problem, because these people come in later on and say, we're gonna access this, and it's a right-of-way, and it doesn't specifically say on here who the right-of-way is for. Then it opens it up to a degree, I mean, at least to a legal challenge.
Right.
So if you put a note on here, note 6 says, this right-of-way to be used by lot 1, 2, and 3 of Lakeview Estates unless limited,
Or leave it right there, just.
well, no, you gotta go on and say, any other access must be by,
Approval of the associations.
approved by somebody.
Well, it would have to come back to the planning board, because it could possibly trigger the next level of road, which may
Right.
require paving, so it should,
Or cisterns,
Certainly
or,
wouldn't hurt
Right.
to have it on there.
Well, what I was concerned about when I made that was the fact that they might be able to split this road, this lot, and create 2 lots.
yeah,
One on Logan Circle, and one coming off of this road right here. And, you know, that leaves the town and the developer in both a position here that, so if the only way they can come to it, use it, is by agreement with the, and if you put the owner of the road, owner or owners of the road.
okay.
And therefore, at that point, if there's additional fees involved, if they did a subdivision, somebody up in here could buy another piece of land and decide they're gonna just access that. And if it changed the road delineation, then you're covered. You're not ending up doing work on the road for somebody else's access.
My question to the board at this point, if that stipulation would be included and that adjoining property would be subdivided into 2 lots, accessible from the same road that accesses Lakeview Estates, would those 2 lots have to be at that point included in the association? Because now you're not only plowing for 3 properties, you're plowing for,
Well, these are all things that you'd have to negotiate.
That would be up to you to negotiate.
Up to the road
What you've done is
association.
stop it. They can't, if
think
you're
they-
required, you get together and
I
negotiate.
think
Right,
they'd want
right.
that, because you're gonna have more cars, you're gonna have more work, and
See,
as you said, it may trigger,
you get a better
Right.
road than Logan Circle,
you
so.
don't want those 3 people to pay the bills for,
your big danger here is that lot 3, somebody buys lot 3, could be one of the abutters, they buy it, and because they have lot 3, and because they're needed a right-of-way, they just say, okay, so now I'm gonna use that right-of-way to, there's 4 opportunities around you for people to buy lot 3 and access their property through that. So you've got to say, access to lot 1, 2, and 3 as shown on this plan, on this date, and that limits it. Any further use of the road has to be done through consensual agreement with the association or landowner. You understand?
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
it gets down to be more serious than you think it is when you look at it.
Right.
When you think about lot 3, buying any one of these 4 lots that are surrounding it, then you find out.
But if somebody bought lot 3 and decided to include it in a larger subdivision, they'd be back here anyway.
Right.
And
But if you
probably
don't,
have to amend this.
but that still doesn't take care of the road issue.
No, it does not. You're correct.
It leaves the road issue wide open.
Yep.
And,
Seems like-
you know,
seems like
then these people on lot 1 and 2 end up paying a lot more money to maintain the road for people in another subdivision that don't pay anything. We've already seen those things happen too many times here in town.
But if it has to come back before the planning board, you can't require,
It's not our road.
We don't have
it's
any
not your
interest in it.
road, but if it triggers, if it's a right-of-way that's being used by 3 homes now, and 4 more homes are going on, and that triggers a different level of town road that needs to be put in,
But
then
it's
you
not a
certainly...
town road, it's a private way.
But you,
Built to town standards.
but built to town standards, which could require paving, you know, could
Depends on how many
require...
houses you have.
Right.
So then we're back, actually,
But
then we're back negotiating, or someone's back negotiating with you at that point. I mean, it seems to me it's easier to do it now. It doesn't take much of a
No,
thing to do it
I
now.
agree.
Takes care of
I
it.
agree.
All it is a
Double
note,
safety.
note
No.
that clarifies
Right.
who has the right to use the road,
Right, as it's shown on this plan.
as it's shown on this plan.
Yep.
And any additional use has to be negotiated.
Yep.
And you'll have to come up with legal terminology.
Yep.
It's not so much like 3 houses being added, it's the 1 house being added. You know, because you're still underneath everything else with 1 more house.
Right.
But there's 25% of your revenue stream is not available. So, we have the checklist from the last one. There's still some outstanding items on it. I'm just going to go through the ones that are outstanding. Number 4, sufficient data acceptable to the board to readily determine the location bearing the length of every street line, lot line, boundary line, and reproduce such lines upon the ground. Tom's notes are only the tie line on frontage on Logan Circle has no distance or bearings. Everything else is marked off.
Well, the tie line has a distance and bearing, but the right-of-way line, the actual lines that depict where this plan done by Survey Inc., I didn't put bearings and distances on that. I mean, if somebody wants to know what those bearings and distances are, they can look at this plan. It is noted on the plan. But I think that the tie line shows the distance between, and now that we've got that easement in there, I mean, I can still do it if you think it's that important. But I am really questioning where that line came from. It doesn't make any sense to me.
So your tie line is between the 2 property markers.
Yes.
Yeah.
The arc of this road is erratic.
It's
So
all
to have
over
an
the
arc
place.
line on it, we're interested in how much frontage there is on that road right there, how much property the property owner actually owns, and that's determined between the tie lines.
Right.
What's the purpose of the pin to be set then, Steve? That's just for the
That's
original-
dividing, the pin that's going to be set is actually
The
going to
corner
be
post
a
of the-
corner post for Lot 1.
Okay.
And the actual right-of-way is going to be, what I decided to do is just leave, there's sort of a triangular portion between the second rebar that I'm going to set and Logan Circle. It's going to widen out toward Logan Circle.
Okay.
So the right-of-way is just going to widen down at that end.
Is that-
Instead of retaining it as, as Rogers land or just a piece of, land that's, I thought it would be cleaner that way to do it.
So the original deed has it going along that jagged line then?
Yes.
Which, if I understand this right, is going to change when they make this new right-of-way come down there. The arc, the time you put your radiuses on the end of the right-of-way, the arc of the circle is going to become greater, so the line they're putting on there now is just imaginary.
All right.
Right.
Is everybody's comfortable with that?
We're actually defining it more than it was before.
Well, it's well-defined. I mean, the mathematics close going around it, but there's like 4 legs of this jagged line that goes down through there, which didn't make an awful lot of sense. It didn't match the existing Logan Circle, and it may have matched where the original camp road was that has been, moved or improved upon to a point where it is now. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Right.
That place is part of that detention basin outside the
That's right, and they change plow sizes each year.
right?
Three-quarters of one time.
So we're all comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay with that, okay.
Yes.
I did skip over the performance bond. We'll leave that for a later discussion.
Yeah, some other day.
Do you have a street name yet for it?
Well, that's essentially what
Do you have a street name yet for it?
street name? Next meeting.
Okay, you got to coordinate that with Pat.
Right.
Board may require the developer to provide space for future municipal use in accordance with comprehensive plan on a reasonable basis with a 5-year option, after which the space be sold for development. We have that as a board decision, and based on the new drawing, you've set aside that easement to the town for future improvements. Drainage easements, the original question was, are check dams on lot 1 and/or the right-of-way? And now it looks like all those are on the right-of-way.
Well, once I started looking at it after Tom's comment of last meeting, I realized that those check dams were not even to scale. They were more depicted as a graphical representation. So when I started looking at them and they ended up scaling like 10 feet wide, I said, well, that's not right. So then I put them in more realistically, and they all easily fall. We actually took a tape out there and measured, and
Okay.
they're all going to fall within the right-of-way.
So there's no easements required for drainage?
No.
It says for fire protection, it says fire chief letter. I didn't see the fire, that's in the file.
Must be in there.
I believe all it was the hammerhead, right? Is it a new one or is it the original one? Tom?
I think they said that they were going to send a new letter.
Yes, on your final plan, you must say relocated hammerhead.
Okay.
Because originally the hammerhead was at
Because
Thursday.
actually, yeah, we just folded it around.
And I don't know if the chief has sent an updated letter. What's the date on that?
July 29th.
No, yeah, that means he hasn't.
Okay.
So we'll get that right after the letter.
I mean, the easement that's shown on here is what we talked about in the site visit. Is a feasible alternative, and I think that meets the requirements for the turnaround.
As discussed.
Certainly very adequate.
Yeah, and I think it does meet the town standard for
Monuments, our requirement is stone, metal, or concrete. You've got rebar shown,
yeah.
so that's done. Dead-end streets require the reservation of 50-foot wide easement in line of the street or any practical... No. In any practical direction to provide for continuation of utilities or access to pedestrian traffic to the next street. We're just over 600 feet with this. I don't get, dead-end streets may require the reservation of a 50-foot wide easement in the line of the street?
That just means where this road hits the street, it has to be 50 feet wide,
Okay,
which is the easement that,
we've got. All right, we have to vote for the waiver, over 600 feet. On here, that's the next one down as an outstanding item. Everyone make a motion.
Make a motion that we waive the 600-foot.
I'd second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor? All right, so pass. So we've waived the 600-foot requirement.
Do we need to put the length of the road in there or not?
Just waive it, because I can't add that fast.
No, I can't even, that's why I didn't say it.
629.9 feet. And that's on the short side. I guess that's center line.
Let me ask a dumb question for us new guys. So do we require them to put a monument at the four corners on these things? So we see you've got rebar at the corners, is that what we do?
Yeah.
And what do you do when you have some of these lots that's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? It have to be one in each one of those sections?
There's going to be a rebar set at every location that you see on the plan.
Okay.
Where there isn't any, well, there should be something shown at every corner.
Corner.
And those would be retrieved rebars that were set by surveying.
Okay.
Right now, this is going to remain as a private road.
Yes,
It's going to remain gravel then?
yes.
Okay.
Unless you want to pave it.
Frank, every angle point on these lines should have a,
That's what I was getting, every angle point.
Right.
Said side slopes need slight remedial grading. I think we picked that up on the new revised one.
Yes.
there's Frank, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but on lot 3, this road shouldn't be 600 feet long. You see the 100-foot by 50-foot wide jut up into lot 3?
Right.
That makes absolutely no sense at all.
Yeah.
He has to do that because one of our previous code enforcement officers
Made, said,
made a
okay.
big deal out of that, but because the road ended up at the lot, therefore, they said it needed to have frontage, which by going up the road and across, you get the 150
Yeah.
feet of frontage, which all it's doing is wasting space. Makes absolutely zero sense.
Yep.
And without that, the road would have been under the 600 feet.
Yep. I remember you talking about that.
We should change our subdivision ordinance to reflect that when the road ends, it ends. And you don't have to have frontage on the lot where the road ends.
When Tina's making up that extensive list of things we gotta change in that, I'm sure she'll put it on there.
I mean, that just makes absolutely no sense at all.
But it's very common in different towns.
It is common because people don't write the exception,
Right.
okay? If you go down to Lyman and do some work, you'll find out on their back lot ordinance, it doesn't require any frontage.
As long as it has an access road to it?
Yeah. Well, that's the way it used to be. Then on this, it's got to have road frontage on a right-of-way to make it a legal lot.
But it doesn't specify how much.
Well, it does specify. It specifies that it needs to have the minimum road frontage, as it's pointed out in the ordinance for that particular zone. And in this particular zone, it's 150.
That's what our ordinance says.
That's right.
Yeah, but we should change that.
Yes, yeah, that would be good.
And then just have it so that when the road ends up there, it ends up there.
At the law, right.
Coming back this
You've provided a 50-foot access to the law.
Yep. I agree with you.
And if the people didn't have, see, the question in that case was ownership of the road. If these people are gonna own an equal share of the road, then they gotta have frontage. If they hadn't owned an equal share in the road, they could have been accessed by just a 50-foot right-of-way.
Right.
It makes a difference on how the title in the road goes. Either way, it makes absolutely zero sense.
I agree.
All right, that takes care of the checklist. Well, the only thing that's outstanding that I have not addressed, or we, the board, has not addressed, is the performance bond. And I will defer on the performance bond to Tom and the selectmen, because I'm not sure the selectmen have a decision yet on how they want to handle bonding.
As for a performance bond, what would you require? 150% of the road cost or completion of this?
I think it was more of an issue of,
What is the mechanism for the bond is the question.
Well, before we even answer that question, my request to you is, and I won't put it as a request, unless these improvements are met by the developer, required by the zoning and the planning board, a building permit cannot be issued. And I couldn't see, I guess I'm asking the board to waive the bond, because I can't see holding up my money for something that is going to be complete in order for me to get building permits to build on the other two lots. So it's not a chance you're taking, there's no risk involved to the town.
I have a comment.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that then happens is you can sell those other two lots.
No, I can't.
Yes,
I
you can.
can
You
sell
can
them.
sell them, but then those people you sell them to can't get building permits.
Well, that's, if you could make that stipulation that the lots can't be sold unless this road is put in. And I think whoever would attempt to buy a lot with no access road to it, or, check this out and see these improvements are made, would be a very intelligent move on their part. So I guess what I'm asking is waiving that, subject to these improvements made, and the lots cannot be sold either.
What's your timeline for doing the road's in there, it's a pretty decent road, with the exception of what the neighbors brought about the drainage coming off, but
I guess I'm pretty much waiting for the economy to upswing again, which would
already
be...
done.
I'm
Already
sorry?
went up, isn't it? That's what I hear every night.
If it's back, well, it can fool me. I couldn't foresee, I guess the only way I can put it across, if someone would show interest, someone would come to me and say, we'd like to buy a lot, then I'd have to make the improvements if it'd be, approval subject to that.
What's your guys' thoughts? I'm,
Okay, so that sounds like-
Performance bonds are worthless.
yeah,
Performance bonds are basically worthless pieces of paper, because it'll cost you more when you're all done to collect on that bond than what the bond is worth on a job like this.
put a letter of credit or something. I'm looking, the road that's in there right now,
Isn't that up to the selectmen, though?
I
Can we
think
pass
that,
the
I
buck
think
to
that
them?
whether we ask for a performance bond or not is up to us.
Okay.
Tom?
In this particular case, the request from the applicant is a much smarter way to approach this particular subdivision. And part of that reason is that the way the ordinance is written doesn't provide an adequate performance bond. Two, the vehicle for handling the performance bonds hasn't been established yet, but as Doug has witnessed and some of the board members heard, when our town attorneys came, they suggested a mechanism for handling performance bonds. And thirdly, there'll be a time in the near future for the town of Waterboro to indeed have and require performance bonds for larger scale subdivisions, but we need to take care of the logistics of handling it. How that does help the community, if it is, as was discussed by the town attorney, in a savings book or strong letter of credit. The problem with letters of credit nowadays is that the banks are here today, they're gone tomorrow. And there's been 106 or more banks that have folded in the last 6 months in the nation, and there's more to follow. So we really need to talk this through real carefully, seek our legal counsel, and as Judy and others have said, figure out this vehicle between the planning board and the board of selectmen as to how it works. So there's a lot of work to be done on that front. In this particular case, I think we can write the proper language. If you like, the board, I could work with the applicant, come up with the proper language. We could run it by our town attorney if you wish, and have it as part and parcel of this plan. It's a smart, practical way to go. No one can get their building permits for the remaining 2 lots until the work is complete. It's pretty simple, and it's pretty fair, too.
Well, myself, cash is king. And in this case, all you've got to do is get a sample deed. And in the deed, it will say that these lots, either one of the 2 remaining lots, can be sold and a building permit issued at the time of the closing of the lot. The costly improvements on the road, if not completed, the money out of the sale of the lots shall be put into a account in cash. That way, the developer can sell the lot, and the money is there to do the road improvements if they're not done.
Who
If the-
polices that?
What's that?
Who would police that, though? I mean, who would, you know, like that,
Who would police it?
yeah, I mean, how,
The bankers, the attorneys,
The title people.
the title people, everybody in the world, once you put that into the, it's part of the subdivision, and it's in the sample deed, that the money from the lot is set aside to do it, and it goes into a depository account, and can only be withdrawn upon approval of the work done on the road.
So in effect, we're saying the same thing. If you could work with them and come up with that, you know what we're looking for. That sounds good.
And what we could do is prepare language and run it by the board for the final approval.
Sure.
Because there's still a couple small outstanding items. Roger and I can work on that language. The board can review it and make sure it's kosher.
But you
I
should,
mean, I think what you're saying, that satisfies, I mean,
Yep.
it's equal to a bond, but it's a cash, and it's put into an account where it can only be expended to pay for the work done on the road.
and if the road is already brought up to stamp,
If the road's already been done,
then you get the cash.
then the letter of acceptance nullifies the deed transaction. There's no holdup on selling the land, there's no worried about building permits, there's no anything, because nobody can do anything until the money is set aside. The title on the land cannot be transferred until such a time as the money is put into an escrow account. And the escrow account shall be the town of Waterboro and the developer.
I'm good with that.
I'm fine with it.
All right. So that, everything on the checklist is done, with the exception of what we've talked about for tonight, the names of the road.
Right.
Note
Oh,
6.
Does the name of the road have to be on the plan?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you're going to call it right-of-way. Yeah, there may not be anything. Patty could clarify that for you. You could just be called right of.
Okay, so note 6, which is going to discuss the accessibility of the road with the adjoiners and the name of the road. Those are the two things you want to see on the,
And worked out with Tom.
Association.
but that's a letter, that's not on the plan.
That's not on the plan.
Okay.
That again is,
The name of the
referenced
association.
in the sample deed. The road association should be noted in the sample
In the
deed.
sample deed, but the sample deed is not going to be here, that's going to be a
Okay.
sample deed that's going to be in the
Yeah.
folder, it doesn't get recorded with this plan.
Should get recorded.
We need a letter from the fire chief.
And we also need the new letter from the fire chief.
Okay, so do you want the language of the sample deed on the plan?
No, just want a sample deed and it gets recorded.
And it gets recorded?
Yes, as part of the plan.
Okay.
And you get the note, and the fire chief, we need the new letter from the fire chief.
Right.
Of course, you know, I'm gonna ask for all the new plans or AutoCAD drawings or shipped out to Tina, you knew that was coming.
Excuse me?
And all, you'll drop the new plans to Tina so we can put them into our GIS system.
Oh, so that means that now I have to geo-reference?
Well, I was gonna ask you that, you know, that would be real nice, because the last two we did, the guy said yes. But, you know,
He's moving right along.
Heck, a PDF of the drawing file is cool enough.
PDF will work,
No.
that's what they want to do.
No, but it helps us with.
is.
No, we want it
is
for-
that a big thing? The last person we talked to, he did a lot of work in Old Orchard, some of the other coastal towns. He said it was just requirement, it was just,
Right,
he didn't even blink.
right.
So obviously, I said, sure, that's what we'd like. You didn't offer it last time, and this is just conversation. I would love it on there, because I would like to be able to put this stuff, start building
I
up
will,
our.
I will give you, I will create a AutoCAD drawing without any of the title block, just the line
Yep.
work, because that's all you need.
Yep,
And it'll be geo-referenced, and
that would be, look at this
you
smile.
guys can play with it.
When we did a subdivision before where the developer did an easement to the town, they had to draw up a deed, and then the selectmen had to vote to accept it. So I think he needs some wording for that as well.
Okay.
What's
Oh,
that
it's Star
again?
Hill, you mean?
I can't remember which one it was, but
Or Avery Road, rather?
I
They
didn't
had
hear-
to-
I didn't understand.
If they're gonna ease that part to the town, they have to do a deed.
They're
to
not
the
gonna use
selectmen.
it they're not gonna use it to the town now.
No.
That's not gonna be eased to the town unless the town ever, the town has no interest up in there at this time. That's for future time down the road. That's setting that aside for something. The town would have no, the town would have no business in taking that easement at this time because they have no interest in that road.
Right.
I wonder if we need to, that needs to be said on there then.
What's that?
It's, because it says right now easement to the town, so somebody would read that, would think the town's got that land on the drawing.
For road improvements, it's reserved
Yeah.
for the town to use.
I think it's, Tom?
Maybe you should put reserved easement in front of that.
The proper legal language for that would be reserved easement in perpetuity to the town. That means it's forever and forever. So there's no question.
Half that long anyway.
Pardon me?
Or half that long anyway.
Sometimes there's half-life, sometimes there's full
Right.
life.
But the town's not gonna, the town has no, should not take that at this time because the town wants no interest in Logan Circle.
Right.
That's only being set aside in case Logan Circle ever becomes a town road, that the land will be available for them at that particular time.
Should that word easement be taken out then and just be called future land reserved?
Reserved land.
Waterboro for
Reserved easement.
Yeah, but I think you need the easement.
I think
one
you
out
should
of
say
it.
further, a future easement in, what'd you say, perpetuity?
When you're doing the negotiation.
A Paul McElhaney term, forever and ever.
Okay.
But when you have the word easement in there, does that mean the town's
Take
already?
care of the wording. Thank you.
I think
I
you
don't
get the
know
word
if we want
easement and that
anything
means
that
the
says it
town's got.
belongs to the town. It's a proposed easement.
Correct.
That's what it is. It's
Proposed future easement,
Yeah, proposed future easement. That's all it is, proposed future easement.
That way if the town ever needs, ever wants to work on it, then they can make the decision to get that land deeded to them. But it's already reserved out of Lot 1, so Lot 1 can't argue against it.
Right.
Well, he can't, just harder.
Yeah, anybody can. I guess I'm worried about the word easement in there, but reserved land for future road improvements. Question is who owns
I
that?
think Tom can find out the proper terminology and
If the board so desires, I can work with Steve and get the correct legal language and run it back by the board.
that'd be fine. Be a pretty good idea.
We don't want anything in there that.
We don't want it, we just
We
reserve
don't
the
want
right.
anything in there that gives this property to the town until such a time as they take over Logan Circle, if it ever happens. The whole purpose of this is just to make sure that in the future, you don't want, you've eliminated one problem if you get that person that doesn't have to consent. It's already done.
Yep.
They don't have to consent in the future. That's why these roads have never been improved, because getting consent is an impossible task.
Not impossible, but it's very difficult.
And the one that we did do before where the selectmen accepted the easement, I think was on Ospey Hill Road, so that already was a town road.
Was a town road. And, we did the same thing,
You did the same thing on Betty Lane for a portion of that. There was a 15-foot area reserved for the town. I don't think it said easement, but it was reserved for the town, and I know that there was
Emergency egress.
there was a setback issue on a project I was working there, and they didn't know if they were supposed to go from the edge of the town, the reserved town line, or the actual edge of the easement, but they worked that out.
you see it on the Ross Corner Road, on that subdivision up through there. People think they own the stone wall, but you go 15 to 20 feet behind the stone wall, and you'll find another set of pins set all the way up through there.
Right.
And that says right on the plan, that land is laying there in limbo, because those people only own from their back.
Right.
They don't own from the pavement back. They thought they did, but they didn't.
Right.
All right, so that's just fourth thing on your checklist, is just the correct language on that.
Yep.
Okay. I think you're all set.
That's a, Pace Landing ends up, the town road.
I made some notes, I just wrote the notes onto the checklist. All right. We do have minutes from the August 19th. Dave, you were out that meeting.
Thanks.
Thanks, you guys. I don't even remember this.
So now this is a site walk.
Yeah.
That was a long time. Seems like it.
Anybody have any
Minutes of August 19th as presented.
Is there a second?
Sure, well,
All right, hearing a second, is there any discussion? With no discussion, is all those in favor? All right, that's all four. Minutes are accepted. Is there any new business? Anybody anything? Any miscellaneous? How's that?
You're correct, me first.
Do you have anything that's...
Just a suggestion that at some point during the winter months. It may be very timely for the board and I to sit down to talk about both transportation planning on Route 5 and 202, and also some updates to a very tired subdivision ordinance.
Yeah.
About the money for the transportation study that shot down in Congress or whatever. Is that a Tom Allen?
It did get shot down, but it's been rediscovered in Augusta.
There it is. Well, you could use this one. Pass it on.
It's very distinct.
Yeah, right.
Any other issues that I...
Okay.
Okay.
We need to continue the meeting
Yeah.
to Monday, so we don't take a vote to close.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion, sure.
Okay?
Do we need a motion?
There's a second? So-
Yeah.
All right, we have a second to continue the meeting to Monday. All those in favor?
At 4?
At 4 PM.
4 o'clock?
Doug, you in, out? All right. It's unanimous.